Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Majestic speaking with another announcement here coming from PGI. They just announced the next mech pack available for pre-order in the Civil War Escalation pack. We have 2 Inner Sphere mechs and 2 clan mechs up for grabs here. And first up we have an Inner Sphere Light, the Osiris. Then we also have an Inner Sphere Assault with the Nightstar, a Clan Medium and the Arctic Wolf, and last but not least, a Clan Heavy with the Nova Cat. So a lot to go through here. We're going to go through every single one of these mechs, maybe which ones are, pretty much worth purchasing or even pre-ordering at this point. I know that there is going to be a lot of hype around, especially this one in front of me, the Nova Cat. A lot of people are already, hounding PGI about putting this mech into the game, and they're finally going to get their wish. So every single one of these mechs, even from these blueprints, the aesthetic looks absolutely fantastic. I am really excited for these pre-orders. If I can get my hands on them, I'm going to be very excited. So let's check out the Osiris first. A 30-ton Inner Sphere Light Mech, engine XL240, and does have jump jets. Every single variant has jump jets. The D has a maximum of 8, whereas most of the variants have a maximum of 4, and the Hero, the Sekhmet, has a maximum of 6. Doesn't look like any of them have ECM or mask capability. But at this point, when these mechs do release into the game, this will be after the new tech update is released into the game. So all of the configurations on here, you can see they're kind of going to mix it up a little bit with the Civil War tech. So just keep that in mind. Just understand that that's exactly where they're going with all this. They're going to integrate that a little bit so you can actually see what's possible. Again, these are stock loadouts, so you'll be able to mix and match based off what you want to see and what you want to do with your mechs. But regardless, I'm just very excited about all of this, hype in general, really around the BattleTech space right now, especially with the BattleTech, beta launch, and now this coming into the game, and then even just the new tech coming into the game. There's just so much revolving around this space right now. It's hard not to get excited over. So let's check out what these guys have to offer. 1 ballistic and 1 energy in the left arm, same for the right arm, and then an energy in each torso with 1 AMS. So there are so many different combinations there. Definitely a balanced build. Kind of looking forward to using that between the ballistics and the energy. 4 energy, 2 ballistic, not too shabby. Moving on to the 1P, we have 2 ballistic in each arm, a missile in each torso, and 2 energy in the center torso. I really like the sound of that. Between, that you're gonna use some machine guns in the arms, maybe SRM2s or SRM4s. I'm not even going to guess on that. I'm using current day tech, but they can mix it up as much as they want. And then the 2 energy, really, there's so many different possibilities. Love the balanced approach with both of these builds. This one does have AMS. This one has AMS. Actually, all of them have AMS. So, looking down the row there, and then I was like, wait, all of them have AMS. So, that's pretty neat. Checking out the 2V, you have 2 energy in each arm, a ballistic in each torso, and an energy in the center torso. So again, tons of combinations to be made. Again, mixing and matching between where you want to allocate your tonnage, whether you want to go more heavily on the energy weapons or heavily on the ballistic weapons. Majority of the lights that have ballistic hardpoints, that some form of machine guns is going to be allocated to that, whether it's light machine guns, heavy machine guns, or regular machine guns. So then it's just a matter of what you want to do with the rest of the tonnage and the energy, hard points at that point. And by this point, light engines will be in the game. So, putting on, heavier weapons on there and knowing that you won't blow off a torso and die is definitely an appealing feat to the Inner Sphere. Checking out the next variant here, the 1V, 2 missile in the left arm, 2 energy in the left torso, 2 energy in the right arm, and 1 missile in the right torso. So 3 missile, 4 energy. Unbalanced, mixed approach to this build, but definitely looks very interesting to me, especially incorporating those missile hardpoints. So light engine, putting in those missile hardpoints, really focusing on damage with those. and then the energy, you know, more as backup weapons or cooldown weapons, like if you're chain firing, so on and so forth. Moving on to the next one, all right side focus. We have 2 energy in the center torso, 2 energy right torso, 2 energy in the right arm. And it kind of looks like, I mean, even the one that they have in this picture here looks like that is pretty telling of what that's going to look like. This does incorporate a missile hardpoint, but, you know, if they protrude out like that, I can only think about all of the references that are going to be made on this poor little light mech. Kind of looks like a combination of a Jenner and a Locust. I really like the positioning of these mounts, though. You know, most of them are either in line above the cockpit. You have one low point here by the center torso, looks like. But I'm also looking at if there are any head-mounted hardpoints, and there are none. So I don't know where that's an indicator of if those 2 hardpoints that we're seeing up in the picture up here are part of the right torso. It looks like this would be a head and this would be a center torso mount, but they're not indicating you know, anything for the head. So I guess we're gonna have to guess that they're mixed between the center torso somehow. 2 energy, again, as I said, all right side focused, all energy. So here's your energy boat, the stabby kind of approach with the inner sphere. Light engine in there, put something a little heavier and not worry about dying or anything like that from losing the torso, as I mentioned before. So that's definitely an interesting build. And I kind of like the approach that they're taking. They're really kind of mixing it up between these. You know, you have the missile focus, the mix between energy and ballistic. Again, missile, ballistic, and energy on this one, and then ballistic and energy. So they're really diversifying with these mechs now. On the last variant, the 3D, we have 1 missile in the left arm, 2 ballistic in the left torso, and then 5 energy amongst the center torso, right torso, and right arm. So ballistic and missile on the left side, and then all energy on the right side. That might be what we're seeing up top in that picture. That actually might be it. So, but it's on the actual hero variant that they're showing up there. So I'm very curious to see how this mech pans out. 30 tonner for the inner sphere. So, you know, you have the light capabilities of this mech, a max engine rating of 285 on this guy, so you know it's going to be charging across the battlefield pretty good, and especially being a 30 tonner. Depending on what you want to put on it and mixing and matching the weapons, so many different capabilities and possibilities with these mechs. You know, even trying to form some sort of suggestion of what to put on them right now is just going to be kind of mixed, because everyone's going to have their different play styles, and I'm sure people are going to make snipers out of it. Some are going to make skirmishers, brawlers, flankers, harassment, you name it. So that is the Osiris. Definitely one that I'm going to keep my eye on. I'm going to definitely keep my eye on that one, just because I really like the combinations that they're showing down here with these hard points, and with the new tech, I can't help but think these are going to be a blast to play. Moving on to the Nightstar. We have the Nightstar here. This is an inner sphere assault mech, 95 tonner. Comes with an XL 285, 380, 285, and 285 standard. This is the only one that comes with a light engine. These 3 come with XLs. This one comes with a 380 XL versus a 285. And then this one, again, comes with the 285 standard. So, you know everyone's probably going to switch over to at least the light 285 with the C-bills. So save up your C-bills. That's one thing that I'm trying to do right now. Not trying to burn a hole in my C-bill wallet so that I can afford all these engines and equipment and everything once all the new tech does release. But again, we're looking at a 95-ton inner sphere assault mech. And what I do like is that this variant, the 10P, is going to have ECM on there. So that's definitely something to look forward to. You see the max engine rating on all of them is 345, except for this guy. The 9FC has a max engine rating of 400, which I really like the sound of that, actually. It sounds pretty cool. The fact that, you know, they're boosting the engine rating, at least for this particular variant, which just kind of opens up a can of worms as I think, well, why do they do that? What kind of combination should I make? So take it for all with a grain of salt, because there's going to be so many different combinations that you can make. But I'm really excited overall. This mech looks like it could be pretty fun. You know, this one having that ECM capability Everyone likes the ECM umbrella, so, you know, for the Inner Sphere to have the ECM umbrella here, that's definitely going to be an added bonus. Looking at each of the variants down here, we have the hero variant, the Wolf Phoenix, that has 2 energy in each arm and 2 missile in each torso. So, you know, I'm definitely thinking, you know, if you're going to go brawly with this bad boy, it is going to deal some punishment at short range, especially from heat efficiency. There aren't a lot of hard points on this mech. You know, 4 and 4 of each weapon type is not a ton, and no pun intended. Neither is it on the 9FC, so that's probably the reason why they have such a big engine rating in there. But this is the only variant also that doesn't have any sort of hard point in the head. These other variants at least have either energy or AMS if you're looking at the 9P. But what I'm thinking is this is really that tanky kind of mech. They placed a standard engine in their stock, so they really want this mech to last on the battlefield. Might slow down with the engine rating, you know, with the engine speed, I should say. But again, if you switch that out to a light engine and you keep this kind of loadout, you're going to be dealing with a serious brawler there. Using that tonnage, allocating it towards the engine, putting in some heavier equipment and machinery, heat efficiency, and really making this puppy go. So I'm excited about this this hero mech. The next one up that you guys are probably going to like the most is the 10P with that ECM capability. 1 energy in the head, 2 ballistic in each arm, and then that ECM module is in the left torso and 1 energy in the right torso. So a little bit of an unbalanced build, simply because you have the head and the right torso with the energy hardpoints balanced on the arms, 2 ballistics. So that's going to be fun, maybe with you know, rotating autocannons or something like that. So the racks, AC2s, AC5s, maybe something like that would be pretty cool, pretty fun. Again, sticking with that light engine, you do have the ECM capability, so you can go long range, maybe heavy Gauss or light Gauss or something like that if you want to be a sniper and provide that ECM coverage for the rest of your friendlies. So that's pretty much what I'm thinking with the 10P there. But with the 9P now, look at this mix-up. All ballistics on the right. Left arm has a ballistic and an energy. Right arm has a ballistic and an energy. Both torsos, the right and left torso, have a ballistic, and the left torso has that AMS slot, but then the center torso has a missile hardpoint. So this is kind of a jack of all trades. You have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 all over the place. Very, very balanced. The only thing that makes it unbalanced is this 1 AMS hardpoint, which it's not a weapon, it's a defense system. So, you know, for looking at the rest of this, and you have another AMS in the head. So it's double AMS, quad ballistics, 2 energy, and a missile. I mean, it's got a lot to offer there. Put in a light engine, as I mentioned to you guys, and start messing with it. You can see what the default configuration that they had on here were quad UAC 5s. On a 95 tonner is pretty nice. And then they have a Streak 6 in the center torso, which is now going to be available to the Inner Sphere with the new tech. So that's pretty cool. And then you have the energy in each arm, which is the medium pulse laser. So you guys are going to have to mix and match. I'd rather go with you know, a light XL engine or something like that. So it will be a little heavier than the XL engine, but at the same time, you go with AC2s or maybe 3 UAC 5s or Rack 5, something like that. You're gonna have a blast. Jack of all trades mech though, with hard points for every type of weapon system. So definitely looking forward to using that one. Now we have the energy ballistic variant. The 9S has 1 energy in the head. Then we have the left torso, center torso, and right torso that have an energy hardpoint, 1 AMS also in that left torso, and then a ballistic in each arm. So energy and ballistic narrows it down to 2 different weapon type options. You have the energy hardpoint in the head, so that is pretty beneficial. I like using ballistics, so I like the placement in these arms. Based off the picture up here, though, it looks like these arms might be a little low slung. Seeing where these arms rise, if I can only imagine where they do rise to, it looks like they might be in line, if not just below the cockpit. So you might have direct line of sight, which is pretty exciting if that were to be the case. So we'll see exactly how it pans out and how they make this mech, but I'm liking the look of the ballistics being, you know, directly in your line of sight there. So, definitely take this one with a grain of salt. Obviously, you could do, you know, a little bit of range with it if you want. I'm thinking because it's spreading out your weapons a little bit across the entire mech, it's going to be more of a peeky, pokey kind of mech. There's not a heavy amount of any particular weapon system on any particular point. I feel like this might be your primary brawler in the hero, and then the rest of these mechs, maybe the 9P could do a little bit of shorter range, but I'm thinking the rest of these are more support and range combat, if you will, simply because of the focus of where this stuff is, and it's spreading across the entire mech, so you do have to expose the entire mech in order to get your shots off, and that might not be worth it to you guys to do in order to receive some direct fire in order to get all of your shots off with, you know, if you peeked with your right side on, for instance, the 9S, you're only using half of your mech, and, you know, if you were to fully expose to get a full alpha down, is it worth it to get the other half? That's what I'm thinking. With this, it definitely is, because you have that stack up of the hard points across the mech. But for these, where it's all over the place, you're going to be kind of cycling through unless you're really focusing on getting close range and tanking, pretty much. Maybe going through that skill tree and getting those armor hard points and everything to turn these guys into brawlers. But now we're going to move on to the 9FC. We have 1 energy in the head, then we have a ballistic and an energy in each arm, and then 2 energy in the right torso. Nothing but AMS in that left torso. So a little bit of an unbalanced build here. You do have the energy and the ballistic in each arm. Again, I like the sound of that, especially since it's even. You could pretty much just duplicate whatever you're doing and put it in each arm, and, you know, at least you know that you're going to be firing in sync with each other between both arms. And then you do have that energy hardpoint, which I really, really like. I wish all of them had it, but I kind of understand what they did here. They want to make this one more brawly than the others. So that might be that energy hardpoint just might be too OP for this variant. You never know what they're thinking. But I do like the look of it. AMS in the left torso, you know, so you do have a little bit of missile defense. And the 2 energy in the right torso. You know, so in total you have 4 energy, 2 ballistic. No, 5 energy, 2 ballistic. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that 5th energy hardpoint in the head. So you have some options with these mechs. You know, 95 tons is a lot to work with. It's going to be a little slower, but it definitely deals out a punch if you do decide to fully expose with this particular mech. Going on to the 9J, we have 1 energy in the head, and then we have 1 ballistic and 2 energy in each arm, and then 1 energy in the right torso with that 1 AMS slot. So not really mixing it up too much versus this one. Obviously, this one is going to be a little bit more heat hungry, if you will, and only ever so slightly because it does have an extra energy hardpoint. So here you're looking at 6 energy and 2 ballistic. Here you're looking at 5 energy and 2 ballistic. So obviously if you decide to fill up that point, it's going to be a little bit more heat intensive, assuming everything else is identical. It's up to you guys how you want to run it. I really like the sound of that, though, having 2 energy in the ballistic in each arm. Gonna have to heavily armor up those arms, though, in order to make sure that they don't blow off too easily, so you can get your shots down and not have to worry about anything blowing up. But that's what I'm thinking. Is this probably this one, maybe this one, and definitely the hero are probably going to be the brawlers amongst all these variants here. But that's going to do it for the Nightstar. Really, really like the look of it. It looks pretty badass, if you will, especially with him holding onto exactly where those ballistics protrude out of the side of those arms there. Those barrels are going to be, if they're that long, I could see them being an issue, especially if you're hiding or you think you're hidden and you're doing a little maybe Gauss support or something like that. This thing is really gonna, yeah, it's gonna stick out a little bit. So just be careful there. Elongated torso. Again, you're gonna have to be careful of that as well, but we'll just have to see how it all comes out into the game once they release it. Let's move on to the next mech, though. The Arctic Wolf now going to the clan side with a 40-ton medium. XL240 is what it comes with. Max engine rating, cannot switch it out unless, so these max engine rating are dashes here, but 365 here for these 3. So you can switch them to you know, only these 3 variants to a 365, up to a 365. And looking down here, we do have a variant, the Arctic Wolf A variant, that does have that ECM module there. Heat sinks, only 2 variants have jump jets, the Hero and the Prime. Everyone else is not jump jet capable, but I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to jump jet around. I guess we'll have to see exactly where the hard points land to determine whether or not, you know, everyone likes to jump jet around, but in some cases it might not be as necessary as others. Gonna hop right on down to the hard points. 2 energy in each arm and a ballistic in each torso with a missile in the center torso. Extremely balanced build. AMS in the right torso, or the left torso. So obviously everything is pretty much just gonna be toned down here. We're dealing with a medium here. And this thing is gonna be looking probably more for a brawly side of everything, unless you decide to be a sniper and only occupy maybe a couple of these slots versus all of them. If you do occupy all of them, I can guarantee you're probably going to go with a brawler, because it's going to have to be something that's less tonnage and shorter range in order to make that happen, versus the you know, the tonnage eater, you know, heavier kind of weapons from longer ranges. But so that's what I'm thinking here, is that this is definitely going to be a brawler. Looking over here, we have the 2 variant that has, let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6 missile hard points. 1 in the left arm, 1 in the right arm, 2 in each, 2 in the right torso and 2 in the center torso. Then 2 energy and AMS in the left torso. So a little bit of an unbalanced build there. Definitely more of a missile boat. Not the missile boat between them all, because I'm going to get to that one in just a second, but definitely more heat intensive when you're focusing on the, if you're going to occupy all 6 of these missile hard points and the 2 energy hard points, it's definitely going to be, you're going to have to make a brawler out of this. I feel like that's what they're trying to focus, especially these 4 of the 6 are probably going to be the brawlers here and over, if you decide to occupy all of these hard points and so on and so forth. It is, I'm guessing it's gonna, yeah, I think it's is it an Omni mech? I believe it is. I believe it is an Omni mech. So with that being the case, you can switch out these hard points and everything. Yeah, it is an Omni mech because it's not a 2C variant. So yeah, you'll be able to switch out the Omnipods based on what you want, but I'm talking about stock loadouts here, what they have to offer. Here is the money shot right here. The Arctic Wolf 1 variant. 9 missile hard points. That is just missile spam for days and completely balanced. 2 missile hard points between each arm, 2 missile hard points in each torso, and then 1 last missile hard point in that center torso. I mean, on a 40-ton mech, if you're occupying every single one of those spots, you're talking SRM2s. I mean, and even then, it's still going to be pretty hot and heavy. So definitely going to have to be cycling through your shots versus alphas, which I'm going to have to figure that out. But anyway, we're going to move on to the next one, just because I don't want to get too excited about the 1 variant. That is going to be so much fun. I'm definitely going to be doing a video on that with a 9 missile hard points and a medium. What is it, the Archer 5W? That's the only one that we've seen with that, like, close to that many hard points in the entire game so far. Now they're putting it on a clan medium that's 40-tonner. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm just thinking about that in my head. 40 tons with 9 missile hard points. That is a lot of tonnage allocated towards weapons. Not a lot towards an engine or really helping out your heat efficiency by any means. But we're going to make it work. We're going to do something with it because that's just too much fun to work with. Moving on to the P variant. You know, between the two, between the Inner Sphere and the clans, the Inner Sphere definitely got the better tech from the Civil War pack than the clans. They just the Inner Sphere is really going to make a comeback once the Civil War tech is out. So I could see that they're trying to bolster up the appeal of the clans here with like that kind of, because they grabbed my eye obviously seeing 9 missile hard points. But even looking on this one where you have 2 energy in each arm and 2 missile in each. No, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. 2 energy in each arm, 2 energy in the right torso, and 2 missile in the left torso. So more energy focused, 6 energy, 2 missile. Probably going to be more of a brawler than anything, just because you do have that concentrated focus of the hard points in each component, which makes it a lot more appealing. Unless you decide to mix up the Omnipods a little bit, then I guess you're on your own. You can do whatever you want. None of these guys have weapon or AMS hardpoints or anything in the head. So if you decide to leave this guy stock, he's probably going to be more of a brawler. Looking at the A variant, though, you have, this is probably what people are going to make into a missile, a Lerm boat, if anything, versus a skirmish brawler. You have a missile hardpoint in the left arm, left torso, right arm, right torso. You have 2 energy hardpoints in the left arm and between the left arm and the right arm. So those are the backup weapons for all you Lermers. And then the ECM module is going to go into the right torso. So you're providing that umbrella, that long range kind of umbrella support for the rest of your team there. And that's where the appeal and the predetermined notion that that's what you guys are going to go with. And they even have it in the build. They have 2 Lerm 15s and 2 SRM 6s in the arms. But I know, you know, once you go Lerm, I rarely ever see people mix between their Lerms and SRMs. Normally what you see, if anything, is focus on Lerms, and if there are any energy hard points, you make those more mid to short range just as backups. So I'm guessing that that's what everyone's going to do. Maybe even Lerm 5s, Lerm 10s, something like that, and then backups with the energy. Fill the rest with ammo, heat sinks. You're good to go. So that's what I'm thinking here. This is definitely a longer range variant here. And then the last one, the full Lerm boat. This comes with the Prime variant. You have 4 missile across each arm and each torso. So 1 hard point to each. Only 4 missile hard points working here. So unless you decide to go with, you know, the stock configuration, keeping the stock Omnipods on here, and going short range, you know, you have these guys down here that are definitely more conducive to using those for short range than if you were to keep them stock like they are here, and saying that you're going to go short range with a guy that has 4 missile hardpoints versus one that has 9 or 6. So, you know, where I'm seeing this going is, again, another missile boat variant. It just doesn't have ECM, but it does have jump jets versus the A, which doesn't have jump jets. So mix and match. It's going to be up to you guys what you want to do with it. But from what I'm seeing here, these are going to be your long range kind of Arctic Wolves, and then the P over to the Blood Kit are all going to be brawly unless you mix up the Omnipods. So stock configurations is what I'm looking at here. The Blood Kit Hero is what they named the Blood Kit. Yeah, actually. So we have the Sekhmet, the Wolf Phoenix, the Blood Kit, and the Cobra Cat. So last but not least on this list is our Clan Heavy, and that is the Nova Cat. Checking out everything that this guy has to offer, and they're not giving much of anything because they know, especially for nostalgia and having everyone purchase these for part of their collection and everything like that, they don't need to do a whole lot to make people commit to purchasing this mech. You know that. I know that. They know that. So they got you on this one. They're going to get everyone on this one. The Nova Cat has been requested a lot, and from what I've heard, this is probably the one that everyone's been looking forward to, especially amongst this entire pack. But the Nova Cat 70-ton clan mech has an XL280 in there. Has let's see, top speed. Wait, was I looking? No. Yeah, okay, I did say that right. Okay, so I was like, wait, where'd the max engine rating go? But yeah, so you have the top speed here, 64.8 kph. Internal structure, everything, all they have is you know, either 19, 20, 12, 16, or 25 double heat sinks. None of them have ECM or mask capability, and that's what I mean. They're not adding anything, you know, crazy to this mech because they know that everyone's going to purchase it as it is. And that would only make them even more appealing than they already are, to add some more, you know, money on the table for you guys in having ECM or mass capability. Some of these variants do have, or one variant at least has jump jet capability in the A variant, but the rest of these guys do not. So just keep that in mind. We're going to head down to the loadouts here, though. On the Cobra Cat, we have an energy and 2 missile in each arm. That is kind of crazy, especially if we're looking at this bad boy. Look at this thing. I mean, that's a nice looking mech, I have to say. And they have this nice paint scheme on there. It's very, very, very pretty, very aesthetically pleasing. That's going to be a brawler. That is definitely going to be a brawler, you know, between the 2 missile and 1 energy across all components of the mech. No hard points in the head on any of these variants. Nothing in the center torso on any of these variants. So everything is either in the arms or the left and right torso. So just keep that in mind. Very balanced with this mech. You have the, you have the 1 energy, 2 missile in each arm, and then the 1 energy in each torso. So I'm thinking of all of them, this is probably going to be the brawler, or one of the brawlers with the Cobra Cat. The D variant, definitely more ranged. You know people are going to turn this into Gauss PPC if that is still the meta. You have 2 energy in the right arm, and then you have a ballistic and an energy in the right, or in the left arm. So, you're talking, even if you did Gauss PPCs, that's where that's headed. At least from what we know and what we have available to us right now. We don't know all the specs on all of the new tech, so we'll have to see how that shifts things once it is released. But as we're looking at it at this point in time, that's exactly what that caters to. All arm mounts, nothing in the torsos. That is definitely a downside to this variant, and even this variant. They have all the focus in those arms. You're going to have to pad those suckers up, because if your opponents get some shots down on those arms, you're done. And so with that being said, you're going from Gauss PPC to more Gauss PPC. You have 3 ballistics all focused in that right arm. You can't really put a lot in there unless you're doing maybe UAC 2s or AC 2s, or even maybe a couple UAC 5s, depending on the slots available, and probably just 1 Gauss rifle if you decide to go with that, and then 2 PPCs in the left arm. So that is for the C variant. This should be this will be an Omni mech as well, so you probably can switch out the hard points. And but I'm talking stock configurations here, so just keep that in mind. So Gauss PPC to Gauss PPC. Then we get a big brawler here in the Nova Cat B variant. 3 missile in each arm and an energy in each torso. That's what I'm talking about. Stack maybe some SRM 4s or something on there, or something with the new tech. We'll have to see exactly. Look what they did. 3 LRM 15s and a double heatsink. Really? So this thing is 6 LRM 15s. They turned it into a missile boat. I'm going the opposite way with this bad boy. Going all short range, pack a punch, put some armor on this puppy, and just let it rip. 70 tons to work with there on a clan heavy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Moving on to the next one. 2 energy in each arm, and then 2 jump jets in each torso. Ugh, that is just screaming not a lot of options, and you're not going to go into a brawl with that, so it's almost forcing, unless you mix up the Omnipods, for you to go long range. 4 ER larges, or maybe 4 large pulse, and you'd have to be really careful with your heat. 3 large pulse and 3 ER larges to be safe. Mixing up, yeah, they even have ER larges here, 2 and 2. So you already know how that's gonna work. And I guess it's up to you guys how you want to play it. If you do go brawly with it, obviously you're gonna have to fill up that structure tree and really put some. What are you gonna do? I mean, medium pulse, really? Like, that's, unless you're going support range. For me, I'm thinking that's more of a long range approach to this mech. Same with this one. 3 energy in the left arm, 2 energy in the right arm. You can even see that is one of the stock configurations of this mech in the lore, is the 2 PPCs in the right arm and then 3 ER larges in the left arm. Very, very heat hungry mech right here, so definitely be careful if you decide to pick that one up. Do this kind of stock loadout on there, but that's gonna do it. That's the overview on all of these mechs, and honestly, I think every one of them is worth it, and that's a genuine, honest opinion. Looking across the board here, are they all worth the $70 ultimate pack? Maybe not. As for, I would probably pick up the standard pack. I would want to pick up the hero for the Nova Cat, both for nostalgia and because I really like this loadout here with the 1 energy 2 missile. So or the 4 energy 2 missile, and you know, man, you don't even have to do that, because if you're really looking for that punch, you already get it in the standard pack with the B variant. You'll have the 6 missile there. Yeah, that's, I mean, so really, unless you just really have a passion for this particular variant, in which you want to have these arm omnipods, I mean, the rest of these variants pretty much hit the nail on the head there. So whether the Cobra Cat is worth it or not, it's probably going to be a nostalgia thing, and you wanted to just add it to your collection to have. I really like the paint on here. I will say that. The paint on this mech is fantastic. So I'll leave that up to you guys for your own discretion as to whether you want to pick it up. Moving on to the Arctic Wolf, absolutely going to be picking this one up. I have to mess around with the missiles, you know, and all of these variants. The Blood Kit is definitely an interesting one. You know, again, these are Omni mechs, but this is the only one that provides ballistics in the torsos. So, and actually, yeah, it's the only one that provides any ballistics. So, with that being said, I probably will want to pick up the Arctic Wolf for the mediums on the clan side. Nightstar, I mean, I've always been on the fence about picking up assaults, but I could see why people would want to run this mech. It does look like that's a lot of fun. I want to know where those arm mounts actually come up to. If they are in line with the cockpit, that's going to be fantastic. It's a great looking mech. It's a 95 tonner to the inner sphere. You know, again, I hope to pick up all these packs. Really, it's just a matter of whether or not I'm going to have the funds to do so. But the Nightstar, you know, to pick up all of these packs, ultimate packs for every single one of these guys, you're talking $280. Like, what? That's insane. That's the other thing about these is the price point, whether it's worth it or not. You know, I like the look of this mech. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of FaceTime involved. That's where I'm coming from in thinking about this. It's just spread out all across the mech. So just take it everything, I guess, with a grain of salt. Moving down to the Osiris, gotta pick this one up. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Especially, you know, mixing and matching between the ballistics, the energy, the missile, energy, missile. You know, you're throwing a bunch of stuff on here. You do have, you know, the Nightstar does have the ECM capability. I know I'm switching between them. The Osiris doesn't. And then you go down to the Arctic Wolf that does have it. So it's the lights and the. It's actually everyone except the Nova Cat that's going to have at least one variant with ECM in there. But again, the Osiris looks like it's going to be pretty balanced for most of these builds, and it should be pretty fun. A lot of different options there. A 30-ton inner sphere with the light engine in there should be pretty interesting to use. But those are my opinions as to whether you guys should pick them up or not. 70, well, oh, I'm sorry. So it's 70, 70, 70, and 50. So you have, what is it? You have $260 to shell out for all of these, not $280. So, you know, it's still steep. You know, $260 for 4 mech packs. I mean, these are great mechs and they look nice on paper and everything. But if I were to say to pick up one in particular that I would take out of all of these, it'd probably be the Arctic Wolf. If I were to take 2, I'd probably do the Arctic Wolf and the Nova Cat. And then 3 would be Arctic Wolf, Nova Cat, and Osiris, and then obviously all 4 would be all 4. So that's probably my my trophy mech here in this pack, just because I like the hard points the most. Obviously with the missile spam and stuff like that, short range, close range combat. Nova Cat, nostalgia, everyone's gonna love it. Osiris, interesting take on a light mech combo between that Locust and a Jenner. And then you look at the Nightstar, and it'll definitely be an added bonus, but I think ton for ton and hard point for hard point, I think you're going to probably get more fun and variation, really, ton for ton with all these other mechs. So that's just my take on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Check out the links in the description if you want to help out the channel and help me get any of these packs. Obviously, I always appreciate it. You guys are the best with that. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support that you've given, especially in helping me get these mechs so that I can review them for you. So I'm going to put everything down in the description. If you guys do decide to pick up any of these packs for yourself or pre-order them, post them in the comment section. I want to hear everyone's opinions, and I'm sure everyone in the community would love to read them as well in order to help them make their decisions on which ones to buy. So that's going to do it for now. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. I hope this was informative. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Take care, guys.